Hey guys, this is Caller here with Diggity in Game 4 of GGPlay versus Fantasy. Both players looking a little bit tired actually. They've been playing for a good hour or so at least of StarCraft, and that means probably more than 2 hours of tournament time because in between they are given an opportunity to talk to their coaches and take short breaks. But certainly with the stakes being this high, players definitely aren't resting in between games. They're constantly thinking about what they're going to do next. In the Korean translation of Best versus July, I remember the Korean commentators were saying how Best was being consoled by his coach after losing, first two games, and he was just so nervous. They going into the last game against July. It was just very difficult for him to focus. But anyway, here we're going to be seeing GGPlay in the orange here at the upper right, and Fantasy in green at the lower left. This is Chupung-Ryeong, the Autumn Wind, and I actually have a map preview of this in my channel. But I think this map is going to be very interesting. I do think it's going to favor Terran, though, because of the rolling hills and the narrow ridges on the sides. The rolling hills really allow Terran to gain good position, and the ridges on the side just are very difficult for the Zerg to flank on. So I really think this is going to be a difficult fight for GGPlay.
Yeah, I almost feel like there's kind of a race, and I haven't seen a Zerg win it yet. It almost feels like you have to play kind of like you play against Protoss, and you're going for a contain. You want to get up on that first kind of hill and deny that third expansion, but even then, Terran are very good out of two bases, so even if you do manage to get some sort of contain, you're not necessarily in a good position going basically across the game. I just feel like Terran have a very easy job, because essentially Terran can push down the map and they can push on Zerg, and Zerg have a hard time taking their second expansion, whereas Terran have a very easy time taking their second expansion just because of the way the map's positioned.
Oh yeah.
Just because the nature of Zerg versus Terran. So I feel almost like, yeah, Zerg has to go up, they have to maintain a contain, and even then if they do manage to get a contain on, it's, Terran are at two bases and they can still run you over in that stage.
I think this map definitely leads to a lot of tactical play, though, and if you guys want to really enjoy this game, I do suggest you watch the map preview that I made, because I go over a lot of the intricacies of the map. This is a very complicated map. All StarCraft maps are pretty complicated, but you'll have maps like Andromeda where, it looks pretty standard. You can pretty much figure out what's going on. But here, there's a lot of ridges. There's in your natural expansion, there's actually a side corridor that leads off into one of the ridges, actually. So there's actually two entrances per natural. But it's a really interesting map, and we've seen players like Best, of course, use this map so well to their advantage. It's not a map where you can play that standard. It looks like the SCV trying to blend in there with the rest of the drones, stealing a mineral there, and yeah, 12 hatch, 11 pool there from GGPlay. It looks like early gas once again from Fantasy. Does this kid ever play standard? I mean, this is really interesting, going for the early factory once again here. 3 out of 4 games so far we've seen early mech from Fantasy, and even on a map where I think he would be favored just going for standard build, he's going to go for mech again. What do you think he's, what are your wild guesses about what he's going for?
Yeah, my guess is he's going to go once again for just standard mech. He knows he has an easy expansion to take. He knows that the map there's a lot of ridges once again, and I don't know, it seems like he's very comfortable in mech build, and he knows that GGPlay does not play very well. I guess maybe if he's playing the metagame, I don't know, maybe he's just going like, hey, I got 2 expansions, this map is good for mech, might as well do it. It was funny because actually Katrina a while ago, it was a while ago, I felt like a noob because I was like, Katrina, we're going to see a big spawn of mech on Katrina and in general because these maps, and it was completely wrong and kind of idiotic. I'm like, are we going to see a shift to mech in general? But maybe this map set, maybe this is where we're going to see a lot more Terran going for the mechanized type builds just because of their very nature. So and I kind of wanted to see that in general because I like seeing the play kind of get a mix. But no, now we're seeing the dropship. We might see again that vulture push. That there's that first vulture. Looks like he's going to do that. Maybe attempt another vulture drop again, getting that starport down as well.
Yeah, looks like it.
So interesting.
But an Overlord is coming down there, and if GGPlay is willing to sack an Overlord, well, I think he will be willing to do so once he sees now that he sees his Vulture coming. He probably wants to figure out what is going on this time around, whether it's going to be another drop or what. But Sunken Colony is, it's going to be up there way in time for the Vulture. So the Vulture's not going to be able to get in there. So GGPlay, The thing is, what I like about this opening for the Terran is that with just one Vulture, basically, you can secure your natural expansion because in the hands of a pro player, Vultures are so good against Zerglings that, basically you get one Vulture, and that's it, and you get a free expansion. That is how good they are. I mean, this is really not recommended for anyone else other than the pro level, though. I mean, if I had one Vulture and the opponent had like 3 Lings, that'd be it for me. But, the pros show that you can just get 2 Vultures and then expand.
Yeah, once again, there's a lot of space open, and I feel like, yeah, early Vultures can really destroy Lings when there's a lot of space to maneuver them, and there's a lot of space to maneuver them on this map, so Vultures are very good. It looks like GGPlay, though, anticipating that, he has that something calm me down early, so I think he did, yeah, he had that spot off. He's still producing Zerglings. Going for the Spiral once again. Mines have been produced, and that's a beautiful placement for those mines. It's going to be very hard. He's going to have to float Overlords out. Even if he floats Overlords out, I don't know that he's going to be able to take care of them before they just destroy a large grouping of Lings. It's going to put a mine even at that expansion right there, and that's really going to hurt GGPlay, I think. Just because I got to get Overlord speed to help deal with that, and those Vultures out in the field. There's the dropship, only going to have 3 to go in, and planting mines in the middle. That's brilliant play from Fantasy.
Wow.
Those mines in the middle are going to help him defend against any sort of counterattack. And it looks like he killed the majority of that Zergling force. He's still going to be able to hit the dropship in the meantime as well. So I think he's going to be able to take care of those 2 Zerglings fairly easily. GGPlay's got to expect a drop now, though, seeing that expansion or seeing that starport up as well as the armory, so maybe you're going to see a Valkyrie out again. This is very creative. I like seeing this from Fantasy. I like seeing the mix-up of play. Looks like he's going to go for the drop right now, and I don't know that GGPlay at this stage has anything to defend against that.
This is a really, really novel build. I've never seen anything like this. This is basically what he's doing is he's going for fast Vulture drops against Zerg, and then he's getting the armory and starport. He's using the fact that he has a starport with a control tower to get Valkyries as anti-air defense against the Spire, because most likely we are going to be seeing Valks. So this is a real use of Valkyries, and Valkyries are making a little bit of well, I wouldn't say a comeback because they never were very popular, but a debut, I guess, by Fantasy, and with maps like like Plasma around. Oh man, Fantasy brilliant there, hiding a Vulture behind the mineral patch. I think, oh whoa, splash damage from the Vulture mine kills it though. But I thought for a sec that was going to stay there like forever. Scourge are going to pick off the dropship. So this drop has been successful. It's certainly harassed the economy a good amount, and those speed Vultures are just so good against even speed Lings. I think, yeah, this is really really a return or whatever. This is the first time we're seeing Valkyries, and it's going to be really interesting to see if any other Terrans attempt this kind of really strange and new build.
Yeah, I really like seeing this, and there's the Goliath with the Valkyries underneath, and the Goliaths, you can kind of treat them like turrets in this situation. The Valkyries very vulnerable, but the combination of the two, the Valkyries prevent those Mutalisks from really abusing the grouping, that grouping, because the splash damage does damage across all those Mutalisks in the entire group, and then you can treat Goliaths essentially like turrets. So Boxer once again changing the face of the game through that. Recently, if you guys missed it, Boxer versus Baxter and GOM TV, go check out Tasteless Commentary, the best commentator out there right now. But yeah, it's just now though GGPlay does have the Zergling Mutalisk combination, so we might be able to take care of this.
Yeah, he did manage to Scourge one of the Valkyries. Looks like he's going in for the break here. He knows he has to keep the countdown, but looks like the Valkyrie's coming in. I can't even see what's going on underneath all those rockets, but I think GGPlay is going to take this battle, at least on the ground, but looks like more reinforcements. SCV's coming in. No! GGPlay loses the battle because of that Valkyrie there. He just didn't have that extra pair of Scourge. I think if that Valkyrie went down, then his battle would have swung differently, but GGPlay has sacrificed a lot of resources there on that attack.
I think,
wow,
I think the difference there was the SCVs. He pulled all those SCVs off the line. That helped to deal with the Zerglings. The Zerglings are really the thing that was devastating that Goliath line. They go in, they do that damage. I think the Goliaths attack the Mutalisks first. But the SCVs going in, running in, taking care of the Zerglings, keeping those Goliaths alive just on that ramp positioning, and I think that's what saved Fantasy the day right there. He got that additional Valkyrie out, and then the Mutalisks just couldn't stay in there and hang, and now it's just, I don't think this is going to be enough, a small enough attack force, and I think Fantasy can do the same thing again, and he's got 2 Valkyries this time. But yeah, those Valkyries in combination really helpful. But GGPlay now raking out the backside base, Valkyries coming in to ward that off, but I think he might have been better off doing this, is expanding. And keep in mind, GGPlay has not expanded yet. He's not expanded expanded anywhere across the map at this stage, and so really this is a repeat of Game 1. And I worked for GGPlay at this
Game
stage.
2.
3 Valkyries out, or sorry, Game 2, Valkyries out now.
Yeah.
So he's going to have a hard time fighting this off.
So yeah, I mean, even on the map as Terran favorite as this, I'm just amazed that we're seeing this audacious build from Fantasy. And really, when I'm saying he's like a young boxer, I'm not exaggerating. I think he really is. He looks like boxer, and I think he plays like him too, or at least innovates him like him. That's why I like this kid. But anyway, GGPlay doing an excellent Mulus harass. Of course, the problem with Goliaths is they aren't really turrets, and that you got to use them for everything else too. So there are no turrets in the back, though. Simply just not enough resources for turrets and for all those forces for Fantasy. But that is one possible weakness of this build. And this is definitely, I mean, I would call this, in my opinion, just from playing StarCraft, this is one of the most advanced builds I've seen. Like, as in, this build would not work in the hands of an amateur, what Fantasy is trying to pull off here, because it just requires so much micro, so much unit combination. Looks like he manages to fight off, oh wow, a lot of Scourge and a lot of Mulisks, once again, with that excellent grouping.
Yeah, this really, yeah, when you... The Goliaths have trouble with the individual unit combinations, but when you throw Valkyries in the mix, it just makes them so much better against the air, and so they can deal with actually both units across the board because the Mules just die so quickly. And right now, this is incredibly creative. That's a lot of Scourge out there. And I think that maybe we'll see. It's going to come down to a bit of micro, but maybe if he can push up, those Scourge are going to die so quickly though with those Valkyries. The question is who's in position, who fires first, I guess. And it looks like Fantasy is in position to fire first. Oh my goodness.
Oh, whoa. But nice Scourge there. Nice Scourge micro. Picked off, I think, 3 of those Valkyries, I believe. Yeah, that was a very successful attack there by GGPlay, sort of ambushing them, getting the Valkyries lured out to attack the Mutas while the Scourge go in and do their work. But anyway, Fantasy has pushed up, though, and GGPlay does not have a lot of forces on the ground. I think he's still, all he is at Muta Link here. He hasn't switched over to Hydralisks or Lurkers or anything, and this is going to be very bad for him, I think, because the critical mass of Goliaths is already there, I feel, and there's not much GGPlay can do against this large force. Yeah, right here, I just don't see him possibly attacking it.
Wow, this is, things just really going well for Fantasy right now. This is a very creative build. This is a very effective build from what I've seen, and GGPlay is going to try to penetrate this with just pure Mutalisk. So the question is I guess, and right now knocking on his front door, trying to get Sunken Colonies just to delay here. I think the Valkyries are going to be the X factor. Is if he can keep the Valkyries alive and how many he can keep alive to support those Goliaths. But even then, I think that's a critical mass of Goliaths underneath. I think that'll be okay. I think that'll be fine. Looks like he's just about getting flanked. Maybe GGPlay can win it right here with this huge Mutalisk attack force pushing back. He's just going to leave that tank right there. He's going to leave that tank vulnerable. But GGPlay going in for a killing blow. Actually, no. Now he's going to turn back to the north. I think that might have been his one opportunity. Maybe if you just attack the main while all those units were out of position, then he would have had to just deal with reinforcements. But now I think he's going to lose his natural. I don't think he can defend this. Wow, look at all that. I don't think he can defend this against that attack force, against these siege tanks. GGPlay has nothing for this. He's not at Hive Tech. He has no units to fight this off.
Yeah, this is such a great build, and it's so innovative. I mean, who thinks about using a Vulture drop? Oh, here comes a big fight in the middle. Scourge are unable to pick off that Valkyrie. There's just so many rockets in the air. I mean, this is like the Star-Spangled Banner, the rockets bursting in air.
Oh, blue glare. Blue glare? There's GG from GGPlay.
Rockets red glare. GG from GGPlay. Wow. The bombs bursting in air. Yeah, certainly with those explosive, splash damage Valkyries. Wow. GGPlay losing 3-1 in this OSL round of 4. So we're going to see Fantasy against the winner of Best and Stork. GGPlay certainly fought well. I just agree with you that all 3 games where the Terran went mech, where Fantasy went mech, GGPlay just couldn't keep up. In the one game where there was a standard fight, Medic Marine versus a standard Mutalisk into Lurker play, GGPlay did absolutely great. He played very well in the late game, but it just maybe because this is like a Bisu build, you just pull it out of nowhere. Fantasy has just pulled this build out of nowhere. Fast. Let's just recap this, okay? It's fast, Vulture speed, and mines, and then a quick drop using your first Vulture. Meanwhile, to get your expansion down with just 1 or 2 Vultures, that's it, and then switching immediately into Valkyries with Goliaths. that is one hell of a build. Would you agree there, Diggity?
Wow. Yeah, I've honestly that's an incredible build, and this I have to say, going into this, I don't know that Fantasy. I was about to say, yeah, I don't know that Fantasy deserves the Royal Road, but at this stage, after that creativity, if he can pull something out similar, although he's going to be facing Protoss players, if he can continue to show this level of creativity in his gameplay, yeah, he's going to go far. Honestly, that was just absolutely genius. The gameplay we saw here against GGPlay, really playing into GGPlay's weakness. And honestly, if Stork ends up advancing the opposite end, Stork is, yeah, he tends to get beaten by creative adjustments to Stork's standard play. So Fantasy might be in a good position to Royal Road it to take down an OSL title.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. I mean, I just can't get over how good this kid is right now. I mean, with this, well, not saying overall he's good. He certainly has a lot of flaws. Like in the last game, he lost so many science specials he shouldn't have. But his opening here is definitely well studied, like you're saying, and it's also very, very difficult to react to because I don't think he's ever done this before. First off, he's only played 5 Zergs before in his history, and for someone who's 2-3 against Zerg to come up with a new anti-Zerg build is saying quite a lot. You know, I don't think GGPlay expected this. I think GGPlay expected Medic Marines, and he got owned every game because it wasn't what he expected.
I think Moletrap's going to jump in here with a comment. Needs to hurry though.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I had these games spoiled for me, so I wasn't doing commentary on them. But I've been watching along with their commentary actually, and I wanted to note real quick that Vol. I was actually talking with Vol the other day. He's the one who spoiled it for me, because he was telling me that he said that too. He said he thinks Fantasy is the Neo Boxer, and he said, "I'm calling it now. Mark my words. Fantasy's gonna win the OSL," and I was very skeptical, but he said, "Mark my words." So Vol called it, and I guess you guys have at least theorized it here.
Yeah,
I was supposed to duel with Vol actually this weekend. I ended up pushing it off. Poor Vol. I'm sorry, Vol. I still love you, man.
I mean, I gotta say, Fantasy, I never really knew much about Fantasy, and I wasn't really impressed with his play against Mind. I think you guys would agree with me. Like, his Mind, I mean, it wasn't not impressive. It just wasn't like this, you know. It wasn't innovative. It was just very, very correct Terran versus Terran play. But really, this time he's managed to shine completely in this best of 5 against GGPlay. So maybe this is, it could be that this is his one creative build, or it could be this is the first of many creative builds, and maybe he'll have something new against Protoss to unveil against whoever he plays.
Yeah, that was kind of my argument, was that I didn't think that he'd shown that much that was that spectacular. I hadn't seen anything completely eye-opening. Of course, I hadn't seen these games at that time, but he said that his games against Nada were good. I haven't gone back and looked at those, so I don't know. It takes a lot to impress me, though. You actually have to accomplish something, in my book. And to me, Mind, GGPlay, not the biggest benchmarks. Either Best or Stork will be a very big benchmark, though. That would prove something to me, but I'm not sure he has what it takes.
Any thoughts, Diggity, on this?
I think he's been very creative, and I definitely appreciate the creativity, but I think if he ends up facing Best, I think Best is going to truck him. Honestly, he's going to just completely roll him over. A lot of people have been saying this is Stork's MSL, or I'm sorry, MSL, OSL. He is in the MSL still too as well. But a lot of people have been saying this is Stork's OSL, and I do feel that whoever comes out of the other side of the bracket is most likely going to win this, unless Stork
I agree with that.
I can't see Stork.
I agree with that, by the way.
I don't know how creative Fantasy can be against Stork, and I don't see Stork making the same mistake again. So anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. He's made a lot of silver medal mistakes, but we'll see.
We'll see, I guess. But certainly exciting 4 games here. Hope you guys all enjoyed. This is Diggity, Cholera, and a little bit of Moletrap signing off. A little bit of Moletrap. Sprinkling of
a little bit of Moletrap in the commentary.
Yeah, exactly.